So when setting up showing time, you want to make sure that you have your listing go active first. And in the add edit drop down, after you've gone live, I'm doing this on an under contract listing, but down here under other options, you'll see showing time, and it reminds you here to activate listing first to avoid scheduling delays. It's just something about the system. So you click the showing time, and it's going to take you into your your listing. So in here, allow showing agents to request appointments online. Yes. Allow showing agents to request virtual appointments. You can put this to in-person appointments only. The default is in-person and virtual appointments. That's entirely up to you. Appointment settings. There's a couple of different settings here. So you can have view instructions only. So the showing agent will immediately see any notes provided to the listing agent. The showing agent will not be given a calendar to select an appointment, a date, and time. Courtesy call or go and show, which means you set it up, they request the appointment, it's immediately confirmed. Usually we only use this for vacant properties. And then appointment required, this is going to send a request to whomever. It's going to send it to you, the agent, and it can be set up to send to the occupants as well. So I'm going to select appointment required. Is this listing agent accompanied showing? You can have this set up for either, whether you're going to your showings or not. If you do plan, if it's one of those properties you do plan to be at them, it lets them know, is this a listing agent accompanied showing? You click yes. Okay. Then you have a choice for feedback template, and unless you've created one or the office has created a specific one, the default will be the showing time template. Under context, this is where you have the ability to add different people. So you should be the default in here, and you can have everything selected in context for how you want to be notified about showings or appointment requests. I highly suggest to not do the showing voice, as that your phone will ring off the hook. I personally prefer text, and then I've confirmed I have an email, so I have a record, but you can always go into the app either online or on the phone to see history of appointments and what's coming up and all of that. Now, if you want to add a co-listing agent, perhaps you have another agent that you're working with, you can add them to this as well with their own set of settings. Or if you want to add it so the owner can either see confirmation or can pre-approve the appointments as well, that can be set up. It's just another drop down, and you put their information in here. If you want to take care of that yourself, then just leave it as is. All right. Appointment restrictions, allow real-time availability for broker, leave that as yes. You, depending on the lead time that you might need for the owners, give them enough time to have the house clean, lights on, all that good stuff, and get out of the property. You might need to add some lead time. Sometimes it may not need. You may need a whole day in advance, and again, that's situation by situation. So let's say lead time. Now this was a vacant property, so I changed mine to 0 and 0. I don't care if they drive up and they say they want to get into the house and take a look at it, so I have it for 0 hours. Now, let's say I did have homeowners. They needed at least 2 hours to get out, but maybe we suggest 3. So it's going to suggest 3 hours out, but it's going to require to give them at least 2 hours. Minimum appointment length, don't really worry too much about minimum, but I like to make sure that the maximum appointment length, especially on a hot listing, to be no more than 30 minutes. Again, you can allow overlapping appointments. In today's world, you haven't been able to do that. So allow scheduling overlaps. The default is no exclusive appointment requests only, but you could change this to yes, no need to inform showing agents, or yes, please tell the showing agent ahead of time. Okay, so there's just a lot of options here, and sometimes you might have wanted some buffer time in between appointments. And again, it's entirely up to what you and the homeowners decide. Now, let's say you had an open house and you didn't want to have people setting up showings, or maybe there's a family birthday party happening at the same time. Obviously, we try to avoid those sorts of things, but there might be a reason you wanted to put a restriction in here. So add new showing restriction. I click the plus sign there. I type up what the reason is, and I'm going to say open house. Now pick the duration, the start time. Let's say I'm doing a 1 to 3. So I'm going to block it out starting at 12:30, give me time to set up. And then I don't mind if there's a 3 o'clock appointment. So I'm going to put 3 o'clock in there for the end time. Now, if you need to block out a full day for some reason, you can click an all day. Now, this is a one-time restriction because it's a showing, it's an open house. So I can leave this here, and it's going to be on my open house is going to be Sunday from 1 to 3. So now it's going to block out 12:30 to 3 p.m. on 8/27. Now, maybe it's something where Thursdays is a bad day for whatever reason. You can have a repeating restriction, start and end date, and then it can happen on whatever days that they're happening. And then you click Save Showing Restriction. I'm not going to do that for right now for my purposes. Okay? And then it'll pop up here. And if you need to set up another restriction, you just click it again. The next section is access information. So here is where the most important thing is how can the agent access the home? And there's a drop box. Most of the time it's going to be a super I box. Sometimes it might be a combination lock. Okay. Sometimes you're going to choose to have the property as listing agent or co-listing agent because there's for whatever reason homeowners decided they wanted their listing agent there for all the showings. So let's select that. So then you can change the access notes to say anything here. A listing agent will arrive, at time of appointment or whatever. So for this property, I'm using a super I box. Location, it's on the front stoop near the front door. So I put that in, and then access notes. This owner had a bunch of keys, and one of them looked like a kitty. So I put a little note that says, use the kitty key for the front door. Not really sure why, but it was kind of entertaining, but that's what it's there for. Okay, but it's important you put the location too, because sometimes you might have to put it on a back door or a side garage door or something of that nature. Okay. Additional instructions. There are some predefined notes. You can also type some other ones in here if you need to, but buyers must be accompanied by a showing agent for all times. It's good to have that in there. Driving directions. Hopefully they know where it is, but this you can just copy right from your MLS description if needed. Once you're finished, it's very important that you come up here and you click Save Changes. That way it'll all save and go live at that point. Another thing I like to do is make sure you put a picture of the house, because again, if you've got 5-6 showings, sometimes it's nice to get a quick look and see what the property looks like as you're driving up to it. So this will follow your listing all the way around, but this does not automatically update from the MLS. You just got to grab a picture and throw it in here. Okay, just by clicking this little up arrow. So hopefully this helps you get set up for showing time, and you just save your changes and you're off to the races. Good luck.